Hey there, this is Sebastian from Luna Handpans, and today I want to show you a little bit about the overtone playing of the Luna Handpan and answer some of the questions I frequently get from people. So often there's the question, um, why don't you offer the Luna with more notes than the typical standard layout you have with the central note and the 8 notes in the chorus? Well, there are several reasons why I don't offer this or why I don't build bottom notes on the Luna. So, and they all go kind of hand in hand to, they are all kind of the different factors that come together, or different values, variables that come together to build the Luna as a whole. So the first reason is I definitely want to stick with the soft border tuning. So this is a thing that came so become so connected with the Luna, or my tuning style and everything, that I don't want to give this away. So the soft borders enable me to play the Luna with a very soft and very gentle touch. So I don't need I don't need a lot of force. I barely put any force into the playing. So this is not to say it's necessarily the best thing or a very good thing, and it actually has some downsides for people who tend to play very hard and percussively, and they really want to push their instruments with a a strong and enthusiastic playing, or a strong rhythmic playing. So this is not what I focus on when I build the Luna. So yes, first answer, I will definitely stick, and I want to stick with the soft border tuning, as for first it enables me for a very soft playing style, and that is what I personally built the Luna for, as I'm not a rhythmic guy, and I don't have a background as percussionist or something, but I have a background from playing a Chinese harp called the guzheng, which is it's a melodic instrument. So I'm definitely more from the melodic side of music than from the rhythmic side. So this is the first reason, and the soft borders, they need a little bit more space, and it's not so easy to isolate a tone field from its neighbor tone fields in terms of isolation of crosstalking. So for me, I found that this amount of notes is a perfect fit. The soft border tuning also goes hand in hand with my choice of material, which is the stainless steel for the small models and the brass alloy for the big models. Now, both of these models support the soft border tuning very well, and it's actually very hard to force them into strong curvatures, or to force this material into strong curvatures or strong edges, and it has the tendency to go back to its state before it was deformed. You could call this the arrogancy of chrome, or yeah. So this is the second reason why I want to stick with the borderless tuning. But one of the main reasons I want to focus on this video today is the overtonal playing. Now the Luna is built on full range scales, so I don't leave out any intervals. I don't build a pentatonic or hexatonic scales. These are all full range scales, which means they have every interval step from the tonic to the octave. So tonic, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, octave. Now, this in return means that when I, for example, start with my tonic here, that I end with a relatively low octave in the scale. So I have an A3 down here, and I have the A4 up here. So for most handpans out there, A4 is not a very high note. They often tend to go much higher than A4, for example, like up to C5 or D5 or E5, or when you see the mutants, they go even higher, F5, and they create this very small tone fields in for creating such high tones. Now, this is said without judgment. I'm very fascinated by this mutant style of the handpan, but to be honest, I'm not a fan of those very high tones, as I personally have the experience, the smaller the tone field is, the much less sustain the sound has. So the sound of a very small tone field tends, there are very good makers who achieve very good results, but they tend to be quite short, and you have to hit them quite strong to achieve a tone. Now on the Luna I decided to take a different route. So the soft border tuning enables me to have very easy access to the overtones, which is a thing that is very important for me personally, as I like the richness of overtones. There are people who don't like it, and yeah, I'm obviously one of the ones who like it. So of course every good handpan has overtones, but here's the thing, on very small tone fields it's very hard to access the clear and good overtones, as there's also a kind of a maximum where people are able to tune fifths into the tone fields, into very small tone fields. So some people tend to make the small tone fields circular, so you can call this, it's a pure note tuning with 2 octaves and without a fifth. So it has a little bit of a different timbre. It's very nice. I like it. I like it very much, especially on low notes, but on high notes I'm not a big fan of this in terms of quality of the sound. So for the Luna I decided to take a different route. I repeat myself here, sorry for this, and which is following. The easy access to the overtones means that actually I have more notes available for playing. Now every handpan has overtones, but typically when people access their overtones, you see them doing something like this. So they have to move their hand in order to mute the fundamental or the fifth or the octave, vice versa, depending on which overtone they want to play. So they play the overtone with the one hand, but they use the other hand to mute the other fundamental. Now this is a typical move that you see in handpan playing videos. that was never something that I personally could get very warm with it, as I have the feeling it kind of disturbs my playing flow. But I have to state that I'm not a by far I'm not a professional player or something like this. I'm just I'm just playing, like literally I'm playing around. Ich spiel halt rum. But yes, so that for me was always kind of an interruption. And you have to hit very precisely and very strong, and even then you can't get the overtones nice and singing when the tone fields become very small, which is necessary on mutant building, or when you want to have more notes. The more notes you want to bring on your handpan, the smaller you have to become. So yeah. Now the thing is, with the Luna, as I'm as low as A4 for my highest note, which is something that I personally like very much to be. I always wanted to be as low with my notes as possible, and that is also the reason why I have the full moon models with 60 centimeters. They are very, very low. Like they have, and they're not low like, for example, the very popular F Pygmy, which is a brilliant instrument and a brilliant scale. Nothing against it, but it's not a very deep scale in terms of the chorus. It's a very deep scale from the ding wise, because it has an F2 on the ding, but the chorus starts with an F3. So it's in terms of the chorus, it actually, the F2 Pygmy is not that a deep instrument. Like and that's something that I built with my Luna full moon models, like models that are actually very deep also in the chorus. Like they start with a C3 or a D3, which would be the same note for the first tone field that I have on a typical handpan as a ding. So the low notes, now I swear I come to the point now. Sorry for that. The low notes and the borderless tuning, all of this comes together in an easy, accessible overtone. Like the typical thing that you see is not necessary on the Luna. I can access these overtones quite easy without muting or using my other hand. Now, of course, there's quite a bit of the other tones ringing with the overtone if I hit those points, but you can easily blend this into your playing. Like, for example, so for me, these overtones that I have access to without putting this muting hand, this is such a big benefit personally for my own likings or for my own taste, why I decide to go this route with the Luna, and not to have a separate tone field for these overtones that don't create the how do I say, that don't create a tone with the same kind of sustain and the same kind of timbre. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show on this topic, and I hope I could answer the questions now to some of you guys who keep asking me, oh, why don't you build a Luna with a mutant style? Why don't you build a Luna with bottom notes? It's just, yeah, I prefer to have access, easy access to those clear and strong overtones, and this is possible due to the borderless tuning and due to a general very low arrangement of the notes. So, and I don't want to change that for more notes or for higher notes that I can't tune or build as clearly. So, thank you very much for listening, and thank you also for the question and for the input for this video. Have a nice time.